What is up, guys? In today's episode of Will It Drift, we are taking a look at the Radical RXC Turbo. I have messed with cars kind of like this in Horizon 4 and it went horribly. So what could go wrong here? Although in Horizon 5, I will say we do have some advantages to work with. Before we get too far into this, my voice is kind of messed up. Sorry if it sounds weird, but I wanted to get a video done for you today anyway, so we're going to roll with it. So first off, the motor, engine swapped in, 5.2 liter V10. It's the biggest motor, the biggest option, I guess the most horsepower, a little over 1200. I don't know that I've used this motor in anything before, so I don't know exactly how it's going to behave, but lots of horsepower is always a good thing. Rear wheel drive as always, turbo. Engine is maxed out. Here's where I was thinking that's a little bit different than Horizon 4, is that when I would try and do cars like this in Horizon 4, you were basically trying to make a drift car out of a race car, and it really sucked. However, here we actually do have a drift suspension, which is something we did not have on a lot of these cars. And that was for the suspension, as well as we do have it in the differential as well. Weight reduction, took 150 pounds off, not a lot, but it's already a pretty light car. And then another advantage that we're going to have is the drift tires. Obviously these things have a ton of grip while you're sliding, which is good because I think that grip is going to be an issue with this car. It is a race car, typically grip's their thing, but race cars are known for when you break loose you kind of just fly off the track. And if we're struggling to get angle, having trouble with over-rotating, having more grip in the rear will help us keep that under control. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know how much angle I'm going to have with that drift suspension. Hopefully it's a lot because we are going to need it. Anyway, let's head up to the mountain. Alrighty, so I got my tune pretty well figured out. Luckily this thing actually feels pretty awesome. I have pretty high hopes for this. It handles a lot better than I thought it would, so hopefully this is pretty straightforward. Tires, drop the rear down all the way, get as much grip as I can. Gearing, I had to tighten it up a little bit. I didn't mess with it a whole lot, but 6th gear was a little bit long, so I wanted to shorten it up, which I ended up just doing everything as well, whatever. Just kept the ratios pretty much the same. Alignment, I zeroed it out. It was at 1.5, but I can get more grip this way. I didn't mess with any of the toe. It felt pretty solid, so I didn't feel like I needed to mess with it. Any roll bars, I stiffened up the rear just a little bit, not a whole lot though. Springs, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I like to soften up the rear and lift up the front to try and get as much weight to transfer to the rear as I can. This car being so short and having so little suspension travel, that's not going to make any difference. So I'm better off just keeping it halfway stiff. Trying to keep it tight and controllable and get all my grip from my tires and alignment settings. So kept it all the way down, fairly stiff, especially in the rear. Damping didn't touch. Aero, I cranked up the rear a little bit. We're not going to be going that fast, so it's not going to make that big of a difference, but I bumped up the rear just a little bit to get a little bit more grip. And the fronts, I dropped it down a ways because the front tires don't need that much grip, and I didn't want the extra resistance, so I dropped it down. But like I said, we're not going that fast, so it really isn't going to matter all that much. Didn't touch the brake. Differential was at like 93% or something, went ahead and locked it up. So pretty simple tune, not much to it. Anyway, let's give it a go. Like I said, this feels like a pretty good to drive car, so hopefully this is a short video. Provided I know how to drive. Feeling pretty good so far, I must say. It's a little loose, not quite as much grip as I'd like, but overall pretty good. A car like this is so much fun in those high-speed sections. Being able to connect all those long turns like that is awesome. $1,066,000 on our very first try. That definitely went better than I expected. I didn't know that this car had drift suspension when I picked it up for this video, and that definitely changed things. So, yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. That's pretty fun. So, anyway, pretty short video for you. I will see you guys in the next one.